How's it, guys? So yeah, this weekend I had a bit of a tank disaster. The tank started leaking, and it couldn't happen to a worse tank. Uh, Having said that, because it's my black roses, and they've just really started spawning about 2 months ago, and there is like a multitude of babies in here, and now I need to try and catch them all out. Luckily, as you can see with the adults, it's not that difficult. So one by one, just taking them out. I think I took out probably about 50 adults. Um, I put them into a little green tub, rehoming to another tank. That's why I'm dripping them in again. I do this every time I move shrimp. Even though my water parameters in all the tanks are much the same, I prefer not to take a chance. So yeah, I'm dripping them into the new tank. So this container just holds them in the meantime. So I normally do this for about 2 to 3 hours until the container is almost full. And from there on I can then add them to the new tank without any major issues. I'm just adjusting the flow slightly so that it drips slower. I just find the slower the better. Just give them a chance to acclimate to the new water. So yeah, bit of a disaster there for me. But yeah, these things happen. So I need to reseal and redo the whole tank, which is probably going to happen today or tomorrow. But I'll make a recording on that as well so that you can see what it is that I do. I'm not just going to patch. I'm going to rebuild the whole tank, I think, just to be safe. I don't think the silicone job right at the beginning from the guy, the manufacturer, was that good to start off with. So I'd rather not take a chance, and I'd rather redo it completely. And then we came to trying to catch the shrimplets. I'm using a little pipette here. You can see I've got one there. So this is a slow and laborious process. You have to literally target each little baby as you see them and suck them up with a pipette, as you can see there, slow and steady. So this process took me probably another 2 to 3 hours, and I'm still not convinced that I got them all. So what I'll do is I will try and get the substrate out and the remaining water as carefully as possible to try not to damage the shrimp whatsoever, because they are so tiny and very fragile at the moment. But luckily the pipette method seems to work, as long as they're still very tiny. I cut the end open a little bit so that it's a bit wider, so I don't crush them, when I try and catch them. But yeah, as I said, long, laborious process, and but effective. I think I haven't seen another method that is as effective as this. Using the net, the one I have, they literally just swim through the holes. That's how tiny they are. So I think the pipette method, I think for me, works very well. And here you can see some of the more juvenile ones, and then the tiny baby ones in between that I've taken out with the pipette. The bigger ones I caught with a net, because they wouldn't have fit in the pipette itself, and I didn't want to hurt them. So yeah, you can see how many tiny ones there are, and this is when you have a tank failure, it's normally the tank that you can least afford it to happen to. And yeah, so this is the one that happened to me. it wouldn't happen to the one that I've got nothing in. It had to happen to the one that has all the baby shrimp in it. So yeah, definitely worth saving them though. As you can see, my black roses, uh, they give me black babies as often as not. So I've got a good line going, and that's very scarce in the black rose line. And you can just see drip, drip, drip again. Guys, to me personally, very important to acclimate them properly. I don't want to give them any kind of extra shock over and above the fact that I had to catch them out. And yeah, this is the new tank that they're going into, and I am now going to release them into that tank. Normally not as many plants in there as I've got now, but their plants also went in there as well as the previous tank's filter. So 2 filters running there just to prevent the old one from drying out and the bacteria dying. So yeah, you can see quite a few. I'm very pleased with this tank's progress, and I'm hoping that they will continue breeding in this tank. And just making sure that all the little baby shrimp are out, if there were any. There we go. And you'll see they settle down immediately. I found in the past, if I just transferred them immediately from tank to tank, that they swim around like mad. Doing it this way, they settle down and they start browsing. They have no acclimation issues, and you'll see a lot of these females are buried. That's why I took extra care, extra caution, to try and not stress them out too much. I don't want them to discard their eggs, beforehand. So yeah, all of them quite happy. I'm very happy with how it turned out. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.